The sound of the porcelain shattering against the marble floor echoed like a gunshot. I froze, my hand hovering over the open jewelry box, a box that wasn't mine. My heart was hammering against my ribs so hard I thought it might crack them. I wasn't breathing. I couldn't breathe. Genevieve? The voice was silk wrapped around a razor blade. It came from the doorway behind me. I turned slowly, my blood turning to ice. Beatrice was standing there. She wasn't shouting. She wasn't even frowning. She was smiling. That terrifying, serene smile she wore whenever she had cornered a victim. In her hand, she held the very thing I had been tearing the house apart looking for. My medical records. The ones Dr. Thorne had sworn were lost. "Looking for these, dear?" she whispered, tapping the manila folder against her manicured fingernails. The rhythmic tap, tap, tap was the only sound in the room besides the thunder rolling outside. "You really shouldn't snoop. It's so common. But since you're here, you might as well know why you'll never carry my son's child." She threw the folder at my feet. It slid across the floor, stopping right next to the shattered remains of the antique vase I just knocked over. I looked down. The highlighted text on the top page didn't say unexplained infertility. It listed a chemical compound, a poison. And that's when I realized the tea she had been serving me every single morning wasn't meant to heal me. It was meant to sterilize me. Let me take you back to the beginning. Before the poison, before the lies, before I realized that marrying into the perfect family would almost cost me my life. I met Alistair at a charity gala in the city. He was everything a woman dreams of, charming, attentive, incredibly handsome with those stormy gray eyes that seemed to see right through you. He was the heir to the sterling fortune, a family with old money and even older secrets. I was just Genevieve, a graphic designer who had worked her way up from nothing. I thought I was living a Cinderella story. Our courtship was a whirlwind. 3 months of dates in Paris, weekends in the vineyards, and late-night conversations where he told me I was the only woman who made him feel real. When he proposed on a cliffside in Santorini, the diamond on my finger felt heavy, but I ignored the weight. I was in love. But every fairy tale has a villain. Mine didn't have horns or a broomstick. She wore Chanel suits and smelled of expensive lavender and decay. Her name was Beatrice. The first time I met her was at the Sterling estate, Blackwood Manor. The name alone should have been a warning. The house was a looming Victorian monstrosity of dark stone and ivy that looked like it was strangling the brick. "Mother," Alistair said, guiding me into the drawing room. The air inside was 10 degrees cooler than outside. "This is Genevieve." Beatrice was sitting in a high-backed velvet chair, sipping tea from a cup that looked like it cost more than my car. She didn't stand up. She slowly lowered the cup, her eyes scanning me from my shoes to my hair. It felt like a physical pat-down. "Genevieve," she said, testing the name like it was a piece of meat that might be spoiled. "A quaint name. And what is it you do, Genevieve? Alistair mentioned something about drawing?" "I'm a senior graphic designer for a marketing firm," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Marketing?" she chuckled softly, a dry, rattling sound. "How industrial." That dinner was the longest 2 hours of my life. Every bite of the roast duck felt like swallowing stones. Beatrice spent the entire meal reminiscing about Alistair's ex-girlfriend, Cordelia. "Cordelia had such grace," Beatrice mused, slicing her meat with surgical precision. "She came from the Van der Hoeven line, you know. Excellent breeding. Alistair, do you remember the summer you two spent in the Hamptons? You looked like royalty together." Alistair squeezed my hand under the table. "Mother, that was years ago. I'm with Genevieve now." "For now," she murmured into her wine glass. I thought I imagined it. I didn't. The real nightmare began 6 months after the wedding. We were supposed to buy a townhouse in the city, but then came the financial restructuring. Alistair explained that his assets were temporarily frozen due to a merger, and it would make sense to move into the east wing of Blackwood Manor for just a few months until the cash flow settled. "It will be nice," Alistair insisted, kissing my forehead. "Mother is lonely since Father passed. She wants to bond with you." Bond, that's a funny word. Glue bonds things together, but it also traps them. The first week at the manor was a lesson in psychological warfare. Beatrice didn't screen, she eroded you. I remember coming home from work one Tuesday to find my bedroom door open. I walked in and froze. My clothes, my colorful blouses, my favorite jeans, my comfortable sweaters were gone. In their place, hanging in the closet, were rows of beige, gray, and navy dresses, stiff fabrics, high collars. "What happened to my clothes?" I gasped, running downstairs. Beatrice was arranging white lilies in the foyer. The smell was overpowering, cloying, and sweet like a funeral parlor. "Oh, those rags," she said without looking up. "I had the housekeeper donate them to the poor. You represent the sterling name now, Genevieve. You cannot be seen walking around looking like a commoner. I bought you a wardrobe that befits your station. You should be thanking me. It cost a fortune." "You had no right," I shouted. My hands were shaking. "Those were my things." She finally looked at me, her eyes cold and dead like a shark's. "Lower your voice. In this house, we do not screech like fishwives. If you want to act like a child, go to your room. If you want to be Alistair's wife, put on the gray silk dress. We have guests for dinner." I waited for Alistair to come home, thinking he would be furious. When I told him, he sighed, loosening his tie. "Jen, honey, she's just trying to help," he said, rubbing his temples. "She has old-fashioned standards. Is it really worth a fight? The clothes she bought are beautiful. Just wear them for her sake, please, for me." That was the trap. For me. Because I loved him, I put on the gray dress. I let her win, and that signaled to her that I was weak. A month later, the sickness started. It began as a subtle nausea in the mornings. I was hopeful at first. I thought I was pregnant. We had been trying. Beatrice was obsessed with the lineage. Every conversation revolved around when I would provide an heir. "The clock is ticking, Genevieve," she would say, staring at my stomach. "The Sterling line hasn't failed in 300 years. Don't be the broken link." But the pregnancy tests were always negative, and the nausea got worse. It turned into dizzy spells, blinding headaches, and a fatigue so deep I felt like I was wading through wet concrete. "You look dreadful," Beatrice said one morning at breakfast. She poured me a cup of steaming herbal tea. It was a dark, muddy green. "Drink this. It's an old family recipe. My grandmother used it. It cleanses the womb and prepares the body." The tea tasted bitter, metallic, with an aftertaste of licorice and dirt. I hated it, but Beatrice stood over me, watching until I drained the last drop. "Good girl," she said, patting my shoulder. Her touch made my skin crawl. Weeks passed. I lost weight. My hair started to look dull. I had dark circles under my eyes that no concealer could hide. I went to the family doctor, Dr. Thorne, a man who had been on the Sterling payroll for 30 years. He ran some blood tests and came back smiling. "It's just stress, my dear. Nerves. You're trying too hard to conceive. The body knows when the mind is anxious. I prescribe rest and perhaps listen to Beatrice. She knows a lot about holistic health." I felt like I was losing my mind. I was sick. I knew I was sick, but everyone was telling me it was in my head. Then came the incident with the stairs. I was walking down the grand staircase for dinner. Beatrice had invited Cordelia, the ex-girlfriend, again. She did this once a week. Cordelia was everything I wasn't. Tall, blonde, old money, and oozing with fake sympathy. "Oh, Genevieve," Cordelia had cooed earlier. "You look so frail. Is Alistair taking care of you?" As I descended the stairs, my vision blurred. The world tilted. My foot missed a step. I tumbled forward, grasping at the air. I would have broken my neck if I hadn't managed to grab the banister at the last second, wrenching my shoulder. I collapsed on the landing, gasping for air. Beatrice appeared at the top of the stairs. She didn't gasp. She didn't run down to help. She just stood there, looking down at me like I was a stain on her carpet. "Clumsy," she tutted. "Imagine if you were holding a baby. You're clearly not fit for motherhood yet." Alistair ran out from the library, helping me up, his face pale. "Jen, are you okay?" I got dizzy," I whispered, leaning into him. "She's hysterical, Alistair," Beatrice said calmly, descending the stairs with the grace of a viper. "She's starving herself for attention. Look at her bones." That night, lying in bed with my throbbing shoulder, I heard them arguing in the hallway. "She needs a psychiatrist, Alistair," Beatrice was saying. "She's unstable. Do you really want her raising your son? Perhaps you made a mistake. Cordelia is still single, you know." "Stop it, Mother!" Alistair sounded tired, defeated. "I love her." "Love is fleeting, Alistair. Legacy is forever. Think about it." I cried myself to sleep. I felt isolated, crazy, and dying. The turning point came thanks to my best friend, Penelope. She was a nurse, sharp-witted, and fiercely protective. She hadn't seen me in 2 months because Beatrice made it very difficult to have guests. "It disturbs the tranquility of the house," she claimed. Finally, I met Penelope for coffee in the city. I had to lie to Beatrice and say I was going to the dentist. When Penelope saw me, her jaw dropped. "Genevieve, my God, you look like a corpse." "Thanks," I laughed weakly. "I feel like one." I told her everything. The dizziness, the negative tests, the metallic taste in my mouth, the tea Beatrice forced me to drink. Penelope's eyes narrowed. She grabbed my hand. "Metallic taste? Hair loss? Genevieve, describe the tea." "Dark green, bitter. She says it's for fertility." "Genevieve," Penelope said, her voice low and serious, "I want you to listen to me. Do not drink that tea again, and I want you to bring me a sample, today." "You think?" I couldn't even say it. It seemed too melodramatic, too soap opera. "I think your mother-in-law is a psychopath," said. "And I think that doctor is covering for her." I went back to the manor with a mission. My heart was pounding. I felt like a spy in enemy territory. Beatrice was out at her garden club. The house was silent. I went into the kitchen. The jar of special herbs was on the top shelf, where she thought I couldn't reach. I used a step stool. I scooped a small amount into a Ziploc bag I had hidden in my purse. Then I did something dangerous. I went into Beatrice's study. We were strictly forbidden from entering her study. "It is my sanctuary," she had said. But I needed to know. The room smelled of old paper and that suffocating lavender. Her desk was immaculate. I started opening drawers. Nothing. Just bills, invitations, old photos of Alistair. I was about to give up when I saw it. A loose floorboard under the heavy Persian rug behind the desk. It was slightly askew. I lifted the rug. Beneath the board was a small metal box. It wasn't locked. Inside was a diary and a folder. I opened the diary first. The handwriting was elegant, spiky. I flipped to a recent date, October 14th. The little rat is proving resilient. The dosage of lead and tansy is increasing, yet she still walks. Dr. Thorne assures me the symptoms mimic anemia and stress. Perfect. Alistair is beginning to look at her with pity rather than desire. Soon, she will be too weak to fight the divorce. Cordelia is ready. My hand flew to my mouth to stifle a scream. Lead? Tansy? Tansy was an herb used historically to induce abortions. Lead was a heavy metal poison. She wasn't just trying to make me infertile, she was slowly killing me. I opened the folder. It contained emails between her and Dr. Thorne. He was being paid massive sums labeled as consulting fees. And there were my real test results, showing elevated heavy metal levels. Thunder cracked outside, shaking the window panes. I heard the front door open downstairs. "Genevieve?" Beatrice's voice drifted up the stairs. "I'm home. It's time for your tea." Panic. Pure animal panic. I shoved the diary into my waistband under my loose sweater. I grabbed the folder. But I was too slow. I heard her heels clicking on the hardwood floor. Click, 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 getting closer. I turned to run, but my elbow knocked into a pedestal holding an antique Ming vase. Crash. And that brings us to the moment she found me. "Looking for these, dear?" Beatrice stood there, blocking the only exit. The mask was off. She wasn't pretending to be the concerned matriarch anymore. She was the monster. "You're poisoning me," I whispered. It wasn't a question. "I am refining the gene pool," she said, stepping over the shattered porcelain. "You are a genetic dead end, Genevieve. Weak stock. You bring nothing to this family but your common blood and your whining. Alistair needs a strong woman, a woman of substance." "Alistair will never forgive you," I said, backing away until my legs hit the desk. "Alistair will do what he is told," she sneered. "He always has. He is weak, just like his father was. That is why he needs me. Once you are gone, either by divorce or natural causes, he will mourn for a month, and then he will marry Cordelia, and they will give me the grandson I deserve." She took a step closer. "Give me the diary, Genevieve." "No. Give it to me." Her voice rose to a shriek, her face twisting into something ugly and desperate. She lunged at me. Adrenaline is a powerful thing. For months, I had been weak, barely able to lift a grocery bag. But in that moment, fueled by rage and the instinct to survive, I moved. I sidestepped her lunge. Beatrice, expecting me to cower, lost her balance. She stumbled, her heel catching on the rug I had disturbed. She fell hard, hitting her head against the corner of the heavy oak desk. She slumped to the floor, moaning, clutching her forehead. Blood trickled between her fingers. I didn't stop to help her. I didn't check if she was okay. I grabbed the folder from the floor where she had thrown it. I clutched the diary against my ribs, and I ran. I ran out of the study, down the grand staircase, and out the front door into the pouring rain. I didn't have my car keys. I didn't care. I ran down the long driveway, the gravel cutting into my thin indoor shoes. I ran until my lungs burned. I reached the main road and flagged down a passing truck. The driver looked terrified of me, a soaking wet woman in a gray silk dress, clutching papers, looking wild-eyed. "Take me to the police station," I gasped. "Please." The next 24 hours were a blur of police statements, hospital tests, and lawyers. Penelope met me at the hospital. When the toxicology report came back confirming acute lead poisoning, the police had everything they needed. The diary and the emails were the final nails in the coffin. Beatrice was arrested at the manor. They say she maintained her composure even as they handcuffed her, telling the officers not to wrinkle her blazer. She was charged with attempted murder, poisoning, and conspiracy. Dr. Thorne was arrested an hour later. He squealed immediately, trying to cut a deal, confirming everything Beatrice had done. But the hardest part was Alistair. He came to the hospital 3 days later. I was sitting up in bed, an IV drip flushing the toxins from my system. I looked better already. The color was returning to my cheeks. Alistair stood in the doorway, looking broken. He had aged 10 years in 3 days. "Jen," he choked out, I didn't know. You have to believe me. I swear on my life, I didn't know." I looked at him. I looked at the man I had loved so much. The man who had held my hand while his mother insulted me. The man who had told me to drink the tea because mother knows best. The man who had dismissed my pain as hysteria. "I believe you didn't know about the poison, Alistair," I said softly. Hope flared in his eyes. He took a step forward. "Then we can fix this. She's gone. She's in jail. It's just us now. We can be happy. We can have the family we wanted." "No," I said. He froze. "What?" "You didn't know about the poison," I repeated. "But you knew she was cruel. You knew she hurt me. You knew she controlled you. And you stood by and watched. You let her strip away my identity, my clothes, my confidence. You chose your comfort over my safety." "I was trying to keep the peace," he pleaded, tears streaming down his face. "I was trying to be a good son." "A good son?" I nodded, "but a terrible husband." I took off the diamond ring. It felt heavy, like a shackle. I placed it on the bedside table. "Go home, Alistair. Go back to your empty manor. You have your legacy now, but you don't have me." He cried, he begged, but I pressed the nurse call button and had security escort him out. It has been 2 years since that day. Beatrice was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Her lawyers tried to plead insanity, but the diary proved it was cold, calculated malice. The sterling reputation was destroyed in the scandal. Alistair sold the manor. I heard he moved to Europe. He sends me a letter every Christmas. I never open them. I'm healthy now. My hair grew back, thick and shiny. I have my own apartment. Small, colorful, and messy. I wear whatever I want. I met someone new recently. His name is Mark. He's a landscape architect. He has a warm smile and kind hands. Last week, he took me to meet his mother. I was terrified. My heart was racing as we walked up the path to her house. But when she opened the door, she was wearing a flower-covered apron. She pulled me into a crushing hug and said, "Oh, honey, you look hungry. Come in, I made lasagna." I cried right there on her doorstep. She just held me and patted my back. I learned the hard way that love shouldn't hurt. Family shouldn't be a cage. And sometimes the monster isn't under the bed. She's sitting at the head of the table sipping tea. If you are in a relationship where you feel small, where your voice isn't heard, where you are constantly sick or anxious, listen to your gut. Your body knows when it's in danger, even if your heart refuses to believe it. Don't wait until you find the poison. Save yourself. Question for you all. Have you ever had a gut feeling about a family member that turned out to be true? Or have you dealt with a toxic in-law who tried to control your life? How did you handle it? How did you handle it? Please let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. And if this story touched you, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story. Your support helps us share these truths. Stay strong, stay safe, and trust your instincts.